I would leave an example of a question right now. Everyone is trying to form their notes, trying to put together a plan on how to form your notes. Well done. Hi everybody, welcome back. Hello. My name is GPHC. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be talking about the GPHC framework, how to go about understanding the GPHC framework, how to form your notes and whatnot. That being said, I know everyone is trying to form their notes, trying to put together a plan, or maybe put together your plan. Well done. So this is just a guide. This is just an example of how you can go about really understanding the GPHC framework and not missing out really important sections of it. The whole framework is actually very important, but it can be quite a chunk to get through. I would say start with the GPHC framework, then make your way to the BNF and to other resources. Don't start from other resources to get to the GPHC framework. So work with the GPHC framework as you're going with your studying. Presently, or now with me, I just have 2 pages of the framework, just 2 pages. That's the 2 I have. This is actually all I printed for my 3rd attempt. My 1st attempt, I actually printed the whole framework. But I don't think I really got around understanding it and trying to know how to study with the GPHC framework, if you know what I mean. I concentrated on printing the high-risk drugs, pediatrics, therapeutic areas and whatnot. So I'll be using my phone to get across the rest of the framework. I would not be talking about the whole shebang of the framework, so please, if you'd like me to share with you details and notes and whatnot, send me an email or drop me a message on my blog, which I'll leave the link below, and I'll be happy to give you a guide. I tutor as well if you would love to be tutored based on that. So that is one of the modules in quotes that I cover under the package that I give tutoring. So for the one on my phone that says the skills required in practice and future pharmacist outcome expectation indicative assessment topics, so that is the low weighting. Before I continue, so the GPHC framework is usually divided into low, medium and high. It's very easy to ignore the low and the medium and whatnot, and I find it that most pre-reg trainees, me included, we usually concentrate on the high weighting or the high risk drugs, therapeutic areas, and neglect the rest of the GPHC framework. The GPHC framework has different parts, different sections, that it would be best to make notes on each bullet point on the framework, if you know what I mean. I would leave photo shots of what I'm talking about in between. So for example, if I was to form my notes based on GPHC framework and I approached purpose and principles of the clinical governance, that is low weighting. So I'll go to my MEP, that's obviously where you find that information, and get a few pointers, write it down under that bullet point. So that is breaking down the GPHC framework. And then the next one is factors affecting the stability of medicinal products. That is obviously pharmaceutical industrial kind of question. So it's best to do your research before you start and put in the notes you need to under the indicative assessment topics, the bullet points. I think the bullet points given, they've actually made it sort of easy, in quotes, accessible. Then appropriate responses to medical emergencies. You can find this in the BNF, actually at the back of the BNF. This is actually there, but you can also search on the St. John's ambulance. Then the high weighting, principles of obtaining and applying evidence for use in current practice. So they're talking of evidence-based medicine. I think this is where the clinical trials, the p-value and whatnot. So your best bet is actually to break down the GPHC framework and make notes before you start. I know that it's really tempting to once it's December or January, you have a few months left or 5 months left to the June exam, and you're like, oh my goodness, I just have to quickly make my notes, read the BNF. The BNF is not the only resource that there is. I think that was the mistake I also made my first attempt. The other resources, so going through the GPHC framework, you're able to navigate through where you can find them and whatnot. So for the high rating, under the pharmacist outcome and indicative assessment topics, identify and employ the appropriate diagnostic or physiological testing techniques in order to promote health. I would leave an example of a question right now that sort of addresses this section, this particular section of the GPHC framework. And indicative assessment. So when they mean indicative assessment topics is specifics. So I just read the outcomes that they want you to get out of that study. Then the specifics, indicative assessment topics, is normal range for test results and actions to take when results are out of normal range. So I would leave, like I said, I would leave an example of that question. And this question actually comes up a lot in different scenarios in the GPHC framework. And talking of the GPHC framework and the exams, I know for the September 2019 exam there was this complaint that the questions did not follow the GPHC framework, but I think what we kind of ignore is the fact that the GPHC framework is into different sections, even the high weighting, the low weighting, the medium, and I think sometimes they can mix the low and the high. If you get what I mean, I'll give an example. Let's say for the high example, you have the ranges and whatnot given to you in regards to maybe hypokalemia and whatnot. So that is the high weighting based on the GPHC framework. Then you go to them giving you a medication that is low weighting in the section of the BNF, if you get what I mean. And so they put together low and high, so it's that assumption that you've looked at the medication as, oh my goodness, is low weighting. But the truth of the matter is that question is actually high weighting in the sense that it looks at the normal ranges and whatnot, if you get what I mean. So that's sort of an example. I didn't want to spend time on this video. This is just to kickstart you in the right direction. Like I said, if you'd like a one-on-one tutorship on how to understand GPHC framework, the little notes I have made under each section, I'm happy to tell you what the package is and whatnot. The medium weighted now, supply medicine safely and efficiently, consistently within legal requirements and best practice. Then under that is statutory regulations and professional, that is the MEP. I understand that we would want to read the whole MEP, but all well and good. You also want to make sure that you're reading the MEP in regards to the GPHC framework. So maybe perhaps you're watching this video, you've already started, you've gone straight right to the MEP, straight right to the OTC books, straight right to the BNF. That's fine. Maybe finish through once, then I would say go back to the GPHC framework, then see if you can remember that, or if you can section or section your reading that you've done already into the GPHC framework. And if you can't, then I would say start again from the GPHC framework into the resources, then back again to the GPHC framework, then into the resources, like that. So like I said, the ones I have here, because I already had a clue of what the GPHC framework might be asking for my first attempt, I think what had changed when writing the third time was in regards to infections became a high rating. So if you're one taking it for the third time, check if the GPHC framework has changed before thinking, oh, I know what it says, it's the same thing. Understand the GPHC framework, people. Then is have the high risk drugs. Each assessment is likely, that's the thing, they didn't say it's going to include everything. They can pick out one section and ask you so many questions on that particular one. I know for insulin there was quite a few questions, insulin and antibiotics, antibiotics, anti-diabetics as well. I think one or two questions on antibiotics, a few more questions on anti-diabetics. But that's the thing, like I said, do not assume that just because they said it's high weighting in regards to 75 to 65%, I think that's high weighting. So the high weighting is usually 60% to 70%, and this covers both the indicative assessment topics and the high risk drugs, the pediatrics and whatnot. Then you have medium weighting 25% to 35%, and the low weighting 10%. Do the maths, people. In as much as we're giving you this percentage, there's so many, 1,000,001 ways that they can set this question. They can combine the questions, and you can assume that that is not high weighting or that's not low weighting. Clinically, evaluate the appropriateness of prescribed medicines. We had lots of questions on that. So you'll be given a scenario, most likely, of a patient's list of medicines, be able to understand when the strength is out of order, when the dosing is out of order, and in relation to test results. So like I said, they can combine it. Just because they have partitioned it in the framework doesn't mean that it will be partitioned that way. So yeah, people, good luck. Happy new month, happy studying, happy start of study. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, leave me a message on my blog. I will be posting a few hints and bobs and whatnot concerning the exams, concerning your study method, also here. So please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and I wish you all the best. See you in my next video. Thank you guys for watching.